Afghanistan is a landlocked country present at the crossroads of Central and South Asia. Miles away from any ocean and otherwise known as the heart of Asia, Afghanistan has always been a major part of world affairs. With this little introduction, let's get into our topic. Graveyard of Empires. Well, as you all know that, unfortunately, if we hear the word Afghanistan, the first thing that comes to our mind is war. Afghanistan has been the epicenter of invasions or attacks for centuries, whether those attacks be by America or being done by the likes of empires led by Alexander the Great. The fact that almost all of these ancient armies or empires are now mere pages of some history books, but Afghanistan still survives earns it the name Graveyard of Empires, and you should take this name in its literal meaning. Aliens or ghosts, with millions of soldiers from hundreds of different armies lying beneath its grounds, Afghanistan by many historians has been called a mythical land having supernatural presences, with some even claiming these supposed beings or aliens have lived here since the beginning of time and helped the locals in defeating any foreign invaders, while others say that they aren't any aliens, but ghosts of the soldiers who died while fighting the Afghans. I don't know about you guys, but man, even telling this story is giving me chills. Now come and dive with us into this vast land to find out what's the reality of these myths and urban legends. Shari-Golgola. The first and one of the most famous legends from the Middle East and Southeast Asia is Shari-Golgola, which means the city of screams. Yep, the name is even scarier than the place itself. According to historians, about 150 miles northwest of Kabul there used to be this extraordinary city with its huge fortress and ancient citadels. In the spring of 1221, an army of Mongol barbarians led by Genghis Khan himself attacked the city, and by his order, every living human in this city and its surrounding was killed by his soldiers, leaving the once great city as a doomed ruin. What comes after this horrifying story is even more bone-chilling. Locals have reported that once the sun sets and darkness starts growing loud and unbearable shrieks and cries start coming from the ruins. It's not merely a myth, as apart from scared locals, many supernatural experts and foreigners have reported that you can listen to these cries of agony and fear during the night, especially from the citadel. It's said that after all these people, including women and children, were killed by Mongols, they have been crying for 800 years. Giants of Kundar. Afghanistan is pretty rich in terms of ancient history, being related to Indian, Persian, and many other Middle Eastern civilizations. Afghanistan has always been a favorite spot for historians and ghost hunters, yes, they actually exist, to look for weird and extraterrestrial objects. During some archaeological excavations, experts have found objects that are thought to be way ahead of our current technology, and their presence in these areas points to the existence of pre-mankind red-haired giants, which were discussed in Indian, Persian, and even Native American legends. Wait a minute, giants. Just wait, cause it gets even more interesting and terrifying, which was once just considered a folk legend and gained widespread popularity among people when an incident happened with American soldiers in the 21st century. Mind you that the reports of this incident are still classified, but according to some ex-military men the events allegedly happened in 2002 in a desert part of Afghanistan, when the U.S. Army squad went missing. A special ops task force was sent to find out what had happened, and the soldiers walked along a ragged, mountainous trail until arriving at the entrance of a large cave. Pieces of broken U.S. military equipment and gear were scattered all around the clearing. The task force was about to enter the cave to explore its recesses when 12 to 15 feet, red-headed, six-digit, double-toothed humanoid emerged and attacked the soldiers. True or not, but reading this actually scared the shit out of me. The witness states that it took 30 seconds of continuous fire to down the giant. According to the witness, the giant wore canvas or animal hide covers to protect its feet like moccasins and smelt like dead bodies. The creature's body was airlifted back to the squad's base by a helicopter and net. From there it was loaded into an aircraft and taken away, never to be seen again. Man, CIA really got a lot of shit just to themselves. Observation post rock. What seemed to be a perfect vantage point for Marines was actually a hot pot of gruesome ghost tales. Marines and British soldiers stationed there begin to understand the place they called Observation Post Rock was actually considered cursed by residents of the Amir Aga villages. Soldiers reportedly heard very strange voices, their radios stopped working around here, and almost all of them felt that they were being watched by someone. At night, soldiers stationed at the post repeatedly saw strange lights coming from the sky. During an interview with NYT, "It was creepy," Corporal Kelly recalled. As if all of this wasn't enough, some soldiers found human bones in the ruins around the post. At first, it was speculated that these bones belonged to Taliban who died during missile attacks, but a forensics report suggested that these might be hundreds of years old. These findings further strengthened the claims of locals, according to whom the post was actually based on an ancient burial site, hence explaining the supernatural elements associated with it. The Vimana discovery. Just when you thought that it couldn't get any weirder, another mystery unravels from Afghanistan, shocking you to your core. In the summer of 2012, the leaders of the most important countries made consecutive visits to Afghanistan, at short intervals, one from another week. Barack Obama, David Cameron, Nicolas Sarkozy, who was then the president of France, and Angela Merkel. Suspicious, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. These visits were actually an aftermath of a strange discovery made in Afghanistan. This discovery was made by a group of soldiers in a strange cave system in Afghanistan when they discovered a 5,000 years old flying machine called Vimana in ancient Indian manuscripts. Now, this Vimana wasn't any ordinary flying object. According to a leaked report from the US Air Force, there was some sort of a strong energy barrier surrounding this object, hence making it very difficult for anyone to reach it. This certain Vimana seemed to be caught in a time loop, commonly called a time well, and until now more than 8 American soldiers have disappeared when they tried to move the ship away from its current position in the cave. This astonishing discovery raised a lot of questions. How is it even possible for ancient Indians to make or know about a flying object almost 4,800 years before the invention of the first airplane? How did this technology that by all means doesn't belong to this world reach those caves? What is that energy barrier? If this is an alien technology, then how come did they just leave it here? Where did those 8 soldiers go? Till now no one has been able to answer these questions. I'm not sure whether these specific incidents are real or just mere myths, but one thing is sure: this world doesn't belong to us only, and the presence of supernatural beings or jinns can't be denied. But for now, the mystery of Afghanistan remains unsolved. For more videos, stay connected with and do subscribe for more interesting content.